Okay, so last meeting, ang ginawa natin ay pag-aralan natin yung uh, fine structure na splitting. Okay? Actually, yung pag-aaralan natin, pinag-aaralan natin last time, tsaka yung pag-aaralan natin today and sa next meeting, yun ay mga applications ng perturbation theory, degenerate at non-degenerate perturbation theory na time independent. Nakita natin na pag in-apply natin, or first of all, sinet up natin yung Hamiltonian nung uh, fine structure na fine structure, Hamiltonian ng fine structure, okay, which arises from yung perturbation due to the spin, angular momentum, tsaka orbital angular momentum na coupling. Okay, so yun yung natin, tawag dito, ginawa natin last time. After makuha yung Hamiltonian corresponding to the perturbation, dinerive natin yung energy eigenvalue um, nung first order perturbation mo yun. Okay. Ano? Ay, shoot. Oo nga. Sorry. Naka-zoom lang talaga ako. Ano? Ah, okay. Ano, feeling ko naka-ano pa rin tayo. Online. Okay. Oh, okay. So, wait lang ah. Ano bang gagawin? So, yun yung ginawa natin last time. We studied the fine structure. Ang fine structure is the interaction between the spin angular momentum at orbital angular momentum. Tinignan natin yung perturbation that arose from that structure, and then dinerive natin yung tawag dito, yung fine structure, Hamiltonian, at saka yung energy value corresponding to that Hamiltonian. Okay? Ngayon, ang gagawin natin is that we're going to anong tawag dito? Include an external magnetic field. Okay, now dun sa previous dun sa fine structure na interaction na pinag-aralan natin last meeting, dahil sa pag-ikot ng electron around the nucleus, meron ka pa ring nakukuhang or merong napoproduce na magnetic field, diba? As long as meron kang current or electron that is moving at a certain velocity, magpo-produce yun ng magnetic field. So yung magnetic field na yun ay internal magnetic field, internal dun sa hydrogen atom. Okay, but you can apply an external magnetic field, and when you do that, makikipag-interact yung internal na magnetic field na yon, yung external na magnetic field na yon dun sa internal na magnetic field. Okay? And yung interaction na yon ay tinatawag na Zeeman effect. Okay, so now one more effect na pag-aaralan din natin ngayon is yung effect na dinudulot ng proton. Okay? All the while, ini-ignore lang natin yung effect ng proton. Pero if we include yung effect ng proton, then it arises to another phenomenon called the hyperfine splitting. Okay, so and then yun na yung magiging coverage ng exam. Okay, so fine splitting due to orbital interaction of the orbital angular momentum plus spin angular momentum. Zeeman effect due to the interaction of the internal magnetic field with an external magnetic field. At saka yung hyperfine splitting due to patawag dito, the effects of the proton. Okay? And lahat nun ay kukunin natin yung perturbation, Hamiltonian corresponding to perturbation. Try natin i-derive yung energy eigenvalues and tignan natin kung ano yung magiging effect. Okay, so let's do Zeeman effect first. Okay, now, if we place an atom inside a uniform magnetic field, in uniform na external na magnetic field, okay, ang mangyayari dyan is mag-split yung energy levels or merong shifting ng energy levels. Okay, at yung shifting na yun ay tinatawag na Zeeman effect. Okay, if you're only considering a single electron, like in a hydrogen atom, okay, so for a single electron, okay, yung perturbation is given by Hz, okay, yung Hz na yan corresponds to the Zeeman effect, ng prime, equal to negative mu sub L plus mu sub S, okay, interacting with the magnetic field. Okay, so yung mga mu na yan, okay, ay magnetic moment. Okay, dahil sa yung L of course is the orbital angular momentum quantum number, yung S is spin angular momentum quantum number. And then meron kang external na magnetic field dyan. Okay? So yung mu sub S, okay, is the spin angular momentum quantum number is given by negative E over M times the spin vector. Okay, yun yung magnetic dipole. Okay, we call this the magnetic dipole associated with the electron spin. Okay. Electron spin. Okay, and yung mu sub L, okay, is dipole moment associated with the tawag dito. Dipole moments associated with the orbital angular. Okay? So, knowing yung expressions na yan for the magnetic dipole, for the dipole moments, okay, i-plug in natin yung expressions na yan dun sa ating Hamiltonian, and what we'll get are Hz prime equal to E over 2m, okay, L plus 2s, okay, dotted to B external. Favorite seat mo talaga yan? Favorite seat mo talaga? Okay. Okay. So, tulad ng sinabi ko kanina, yung internal magnetic field, dahil dun sa pag-ikot ng electron along the nucleus, interacts with the external magnetic field. Now, yung type ng interaction na yon, or actually yung strength ng interaction na yon, will give rise to two different phenomena. Actually, three. Kasi i-categorize natin siya to an external magnetic field that is much smaller, okay, than the so yung unang type is an external magnetic field that is much smaller than the internal magnetic field. Okay? Tapos, yung external magnetic field which is much greater than the internal magnetic field. And then yung third case is that yung intermediate case na kung saan hindi naman halos equal, kundi in the same order of magnitude yung external at internal magnetic field. Okay, na hindi mo na pwedeng i-ignore yung certain effects. Okay? Pag sa case 1, okay, dito ang nagdo-dominate is yung fine structure. Okay, which makes sense kasi dun sa fine structure na diniscuss natin last meeting, wala namang external na magnetic field dun eh. And even if you add a small external magnetic field, then its effect on the internal magnetic field will be relatively small as shown dito sa equation na yon. So dito nagdo-dominate pa rin yung fine structure. So yung Hamiltonian mo will be or will give you an eigenvalue that is more or less tawag dito the same, okay, kumpara dun sa orbital angular kumpara dun sa fine structure. Okay, pag sa case na ito, okay, dito ang nagdo-dominate na dito yung external na magnetic field. Okay? So, okay, ang mangyayari dito ngayon is that yung total angular momentum, okay? So, yung total angular momentum is J, okay, and it's equal to the sum of the orbital angular momentum and the spin angular momentum, okay, will interact with the external magnetic field. Okay? So, ang magdo-dominate dito okay, ay yung external, yung total angular momentum. Okay? Now, for the intermediate case, okay, so ang tawag pala dito is intermediate case. Okay, sinabing intermediate dito kasi both are in the same order. Yung both external magnetic field at internal magnetic field are in the same order. So, ibig sabihin, walang nagko-compete or actually nagko-compete yung interaction sa isa't isa. Okay? And yun yung titignan natin in a little while. Okay? So, how do we, so let's begin with the first case. So, case 1, na kung saan yung external magnetic field is very much less than the internal magnetic field. Okay, so sabi natin dito ang nag-dominate ay fine structure. Now, kung binabasa niyo yung book, it's referring to what's called a okay. It's referring to what's called a tawag dito good quantum numbers. So, yung tinatawag niya na good quantum numbers dito okay, are N, L, J, at saka MJ. Yung N is of course the principal quantum number. Okay, yung L is the orbital momentum quantum number, and so on and so forth. Okay, so ano bang ibig sabihin ng good quantum numbers? Okay, so we say na yung quantum numbers are good if they correspond okay, to observables whose operators, okay, first of all, commute with the Hamiltonian. Okay, and secondly, they have a well-defined conserved values in time. So merong well-defined conserved values in time. So you can say na medyo constant na yung value. Okay, so in this case, yung N, L, J, tsaka MJ na quantum numbers okay, ay good quantum numbers kasi ano bang nagdo-dominate sa case na to? Ang nagdo-dominate dito is yung spin-orbit coupling. Diba? Spin-orbit coupling is dominant. Okay, and yung total angular momentum, tulad ng sinabi natin kanina, is J equals L plus S. Pero yung makikipag-interact with the magnetic field are these two quantities. Okay? Tawag dito. Pero yung interaction nila is quite small. So, nananaig pa rin yung interaction ng spin at saka ng na external naman. Yung spin, spin angular momentum tsaka orbital angular momentum. Okay, now sa case 2, ang nananaig na doon ay yung Zeeman effect. Ay, sorry. Ang nananaig na doon ay yung Zeeman effect, tama. Yung Zeeman effect. So, ang magiging interaction natin dyan ngayon, o yung magiging Hamiltonian natin, is given by another quantity. Actually, same in form, pero if we are assuming na yung magnetic field ay along the z direction, then yung interaction will only be along the z direction. Okay, so makikita niyo yan mamaya. Okay. So dito muna tayo sa case 1. So sa case 1, ang tawag natin dito ay weak field Zeeman effect. Okay, so weak field Zeeman effect. Okay. So ang first order na energy eigenvalue is given by, okay, now yung syempre yung ano no, yung wave function. In this case, ang wave function is a Bra function n l j m j, okay, and then you have yung perturbation din natin, okay, h z prime, tapos n l j m j. So we're not going to go through the derivation, but we can write this as external magnetic field interacting with the spin angular, with the spin angular momentum and the orbital angular momentum. Okay, since J, the total angular momentum is equal to the orbital angular momentum plus the spin angular momentum, okay, itong nasa loob ng brackets ay pwede na natin isulat as J plus S. Okay? So, mangyayari lang yan pag sinulat natin na J minus S is equal to J minus S is equal to L. Okay, then we replace yung L dyan. Okay, and what we'll end up with is itong J plus S. Okay, so dalawa. Okay, ang sabi natin dito is makikipag-interact yung anong tawag dito? Yung orbital angular momentum with the magnetic field. Okay, so ang gagawin natin is ipo-project natin itong spin orbit coupling na ito dun sa dun sa magnetic field niyo. Okay, and then yung magnetic field na to ay tawag dito, external magnetic field na to ay in the same orientation as the orbital angular momentum. So ito yung ibig ko sabihin. Dali. Okay. So, ayan yung total angular momentum, then yung orbital angular momentum, tsaka spin quantum, or spin angular momentum. Okay, so ang gagawin natin dito ngayon is titignan natin yung interaction na yun. Okay. So what we want to look at is yung actually yung projection ng S, okay, along J. Okay? Bakit yung projection ng S along J? So we can break down yung spin angular momentum using in two components. Okay? Yung perpendicular na component, okay? Yung perpendicular na component, okay? And yung tawag dito, uh, horizontal na component. Horizontal or planar in the sense na nasa same plane siya as yung tawag dito, yung circle na nabubuo ng pag-ikot ng electron. So habang umiikot kasi yung electron, okay, meron siya nitong orbital angular momentum and then meron siya ng spin angular momentum. Okay, we can imagine it as yung electron na umiikot about its own spin pero hindi talaga ganun yung nangyari. Okay, and then yung projection na yan will have two components projected along the plane of the circle and then projected tawag dito in the same direction as J. Okay, now we're going to use a different formula for the projection of S along J. So yung projection of S along J, okay, is okay, so pwede natin isulat na ganyan is equal to S dot J over J squared times J. Okay, so yung definition na yan is tawag dito is given by definition. Okay, hindi ko alam kung ganyan siya tinuro sa math 54, 53 series. Okay, so projection ng A onto B, okay, ay equal sa A dot B divided by B squared times okay, and pag in-apply natin itong definition na ito sa J, yan yung kailangan. Okay. Okay. Now we know na ang total angular momentum on J equals sa L plus S. Okay, tapos if we dot both sides by S, so S dot J will give us S dot L plus S dot S. Okay, ang S dot J ngayon ay equal sa S squared. Tapos S dot L, ano ba ang S dot L? Okay, so makukuha natin yung S dot L from here. Okay, so ang S dot L ay equal sa J squared L squared plus S squared plus 2L dot X. Great. Wait, mali lang. S dot, isip ko na ginagawa ko. Hindi yan. Gusto natin doon. Actually, S dot J. So ito na yung S dot J, no? Sorry. S dot, nandito tayo sa S dot J. So S dot L plus S dot S. So S dot L. Okay. So L dot S ay equal sa Teka, nalilito na ako. So, so yan, gagawin natin is J dot J. Okay, so ibig sabihin L S dot L plus S. So this will give us L dot L plus S dot S plus 2 times L dot S. Okay, so equal yan sa L squared plus S squared plus 2 L dot S. And this is, of course, J squared. Okay, so yung L dot S ngayon ay equal sa 1/2 J squared minus L squared minus S squared. Okay, at yun yung ipapasok natin doon. Okay, so that will give us 1/2 J squared minus L squared minus S squared. Oh. Ah, okay. And then meron ka pa nitong plus S squared. So plus uh, S squared. Okay, so ito magiging 1/2 J squared minus L squared plus S squared. S squared over 2. Kasi this is 1 S squared tapos ito is 1/2, negative 1/2 S squared. Kaya naging ganyan yung S dot. S dot siya. Okay, and we are doing this kasi gusto natin makita yung expression, kung ano mangyayari dito sa expression na to. Okay, so ngayon, yung projection of S along J okay, is then given by, sabi rito, S dot J over J squared, and then J, okay, and yung S dot J na derive natin. Okay, so 1/2 L squared um, J squared minus S squared plus S squared. And then meron ka pang J na vector dun sa dulo. And then everything is divided by J, J squared. Okay, and pag kinuha natin yung ano niyan, yung pag in-apply natin yung operator na yan, we'll end up with 1 over 2 small j na to j plus 1. Okay, kasi yan yung galing sa j squared. Okay, and then j times j plus 1 minus L times L plus 1 minus S times S plus 1. Plus. So, plus S times S plus 1. Ano ba yung ginagawa natin dito? Okay, tapos J sandali Sandali, may double check lang. Um, okay, ano bang ginagawa natin dito? Pinakuha natin yung projection ng S along J. Tapos, S dot J over ginamit natin yung definition. Okay. May klase kami. Oo. Wala na yata kayong rason para magstay dito, no? Oo. Okay. So, mali lang, ah. Let me just get my bearings. Mm, so, ang kami ito. Okay. Okay na. Okay. So, ang L plus 2S is given by 1 plus S dot J over J squared tapos expectation value. Okay? How that happened, yun yung actually tinatry ko na i-derive at ipakita sa inyo. Okay, kasi we can write L plus 2S actually as uh, J plus S. Okay, and pag sinulat natin yan as J plus S, then i-multiply natin to by, i-dot product natin to by J. Okay, so ibig ko sabihin, J plus S. Okay, and then kunin yung kunin yung expectation value niya. And then we apply this definition and projection. This is what will end up. Okay? So makikita niyo naman yan kasi itong dalawa will be equal pero pag divide natin yung by j squared, di magiging 1 na lang siya. Kasi ito, j dot s, yan yung ang dyan. Okay? So, kaya na-derive ito. Kaya na-derive ito from C. Okay? So, we already know what S dot J is. So, 1 plus J times J plus 1, okay, minus L times L plus 1 plus 3/4. Okay, bakit 3/4 yan? Kasi we're considering an electron with spin 1/2. So, S equals 1/2 here. And then 2J, J plus 1. Okay, and then sa dulo, meron kang Sa dulo, meron kang expectation value ng J. So ito yun. Na nilipat lang natin dito. Okay, so yun yung gusto natin actually derive. Now, ano ang makukuha natin dito? Okay, so remember this is L plus 2S. And yung L plus 2S na yan, dito natin makikita. Okay, and it's interacting with the magnetic field. Okay, and once we get the expectation value, then it's just a number. Okay, with the interacting with the magnetic field. Okay, tapos yun na yung bali ano natin. First order energy eigenvalue. Okay? So yung EZ ngayon does not look so easy ay equal sa E over 2M Okay, tapos yung B external, okay, so B external dot dun sa J, okay, so we will then have yung B external lang. Okay, tapos and then yung expectation value ng L plus 2S, which is this, yung nasa loob ng brackets. It will interact now with the external magnetic field, di ba? And when that interacts with the external magnetic field, ang lalabas dito is MJ H bar. Okay? Tulad lang din yan sa mga napag-aralan natin before, di ba? So, equal to sa ML H bar, kasi ito yung Z component niya, right? So, ito is the Z component of J. Bakit Z component? Kasi ina-assume natin na yung external magnetic field ay along the Z-axis. So, everything else, every other component of J ay hindi na magsusurvive. Okay? So, meron tayo ngayong itong term na sa brackets. For now, tatawagin ko lang na G and then MJ H bar. Okay, pagsasamahin natin ngayon itong EH bar over 2M, and then yung G or GJ, lagyan na lang natin GJ kasi marami tayong gagamitan nun. Gagamitan yan. GJ, and then yung external magnetic field, and then yung MJ. Okay, now itong G sub J ay tinatawag natin na Landay G factor. Okay? Landay G factor. Yang E na mayroong slash soft yan ha. Hindi yan impit. Mag-ibang ibig sabihin pag nag-impit yan. Lande. Kasi inimpitan nyo eh. Okay. Natatawa sila dito sa loob ng classroom, kayo hindi. Okay. Ang tawag dito, tapos yung MJ, ano ba yung MJ? Siyempre, yan yung quantum number, di ba? Magnetic quantum number nung total angular momentum, di ba? And in this case, kung ito ay electron, okay, ano yung possible values ng MJ? It's just negative 1/2 tsaka positive 1/2. Okay? So, tapos ito, i-define din natin ito. Tatawagin natin itong mu sub B at ang tawag natin dyan ay Bohr magneton. Okay, yung Bohr magneton na yan, okay, pag pilagi natin yung values ng E, H bar, tsaka M, okay, ay may value na 5.788, so basta 8 times 10 to the minus 5 electron volts over Tesla. Okay, so yan yung Bohr magneton. Okay, so yung energy natin ngayon ay equal sa Bohr magneton, okay, times GJ, okay, times yung external na magnetic field. Okay, and then kung gusto natin, okay, actually maglalagay tayo din plus or minus 1/2 mu sub B GJ and then external na magnetic field. Saan galing yung plus or minus 1/2? Galing yan dito sa MJ. Kasi sinabi natin na ang values niya is 1/2 at saka negative 1/2. Okay, so dito nakita natin na may dalawang possible values nung first order correction. Okay, so pag inad natin yan ngayon dun sa dun sa unperturbed state at saka sa fine structure, okay, ano yung lalabas? So, syempre, para magawa natin yan, mag-assume muna tayo ng values ng n. So, ng mga quantum numbers. So, for example, for n equals 1, anong value ng L? Pag n equals 1, L is equal to 0, di ba? Di ba? Yun lang yung possible values niya. At anong value niyan ng J? 1/2. So, 1/2. Okay, so ibig sabihin, okay, n equals 1, L equals 0, J equals 1/2. So gamitin natin siya dito. J equals 0, okay, sorry, L equals 0, tsaka J equals 1/2. So ito, magiging 0, tapos ito, 1/2, di ba? So J equals 1/2. 1/2 plus 3/2, 3/4. Ito, 3/4 din ito. Ito, 3/4 din yan. Tapos dito, may isa ka pang 3/4, so magiging 3/2. So 3/2 na yun itong dalawa. 3/2 divided by 3/4, okay, ay 2. Tama? Right? Eh, may 2 ka pa dito sa ilalim, so anong tawag dito? 1 lang siya. Tapos may 1 ka pa ron, so yung lambda G factor natin, in this case, ay ang ibibigay sa atin yung G factor is equal to 2. Okay, tapos ano ba yung unperturbed, okay, na energy eigenvalue sa ground state ng hydrogen atom? Ano yung value? Energy ng hydrogen atom. Walang perturbation. Ground state, n equals 1. Anong value nyon? Hindi zero. Nagkaroon lang ng mga additional na mga special na terms na wala na kayo. Pag sinabing unperturbed, ibig sabihin wala nung mga di ba? Walang coupling dahil sa spins, sa angular momenta, di ba? It's just an electron circling around the proton. And if that is the case, ano ang ground state ng hydrogen atom? Anong value ng ground state ng hydrogen atom? Sa exam kaya, conceptual na lang ang gawin ko, no? Negative 13.6 electron volts, di ba? Di ba? Ground state ng hydrogen atom. Unperturbed yan kasi hindi natin in-include yung fine structure, yung coupling. Di ba? Okay, ngayon, include natin yung coupling kasi natutunan natin yan from last meeting. Okay, so from last meeting, ano bang expression for the coupling? Okay, so ito yung ground state na unperturbed. E1, so unperturbed yan, so 0 yung okay, so ano ang expression for the fine structure ay En squared over 2mc squared plus 3 minus 4n over j plus 1. So, 6.65 sa page
page 242. And then pag in-include na natin yung, pag sinama natin to ngayon sa ano, sa, yung pangalan nito, sa unperturbed na ground na energy eigenvalue, ENJ na gagamitin natin dito, equal to sa negative 13.6 electron volts over n squared, 1 plus alpha squared over n squared, n over j plus 1/2 minus 3/4. Okay, so again, ito yung ground state. Okay, at ito yung dahil sa, unperturbed. Unperturbed. At ito naman yung galing sa fine structure. So yan ay equation 6.66, page 240. Magkasunod lang yung dalawang equations. And then sabi natin, n equals 1, L equals 0, at saka j equals 1/2. So ano na yun yung ENJ dito? So yung total na energy, pag in-include natin yung weak na Zeeman effect is ENJ plus yung energy na nakuha natin sa weak na Zeeman effect. Okay, so for n equals 1, ito magiging 1, di ba? Ang j is 1/2, so yung nasa denominator magiging. So 1 minus 3/4 ay 1/4. Right? N equals 1, so 1/4 alpha squared. Tama ba? And then ito is also 1. So this will give us negative 13 negative 13.6 electron volts, okay, times 1 plus alpha squared over 4. Okay, at yan yung yan yung makikita niyo dun sa book. Para alam niyo kung saan nagagaling yung mga bagay-bagay. Plus yung the weak Zeeman effect. Yung eigenvalue para sa weak Zeeman effect is this. Okay, pero alam na natin yung GJ. Ang GJ, ang Landau factor, Landau G factor is 2. 2 times 1/2, 1 lang yun, di ba? And then yung UB, tapos B external. So this essentially becomes plus or minus UB and then B external. Okay, so yan na yung total na energy. Okay, so if we plot that, ito ngayon yung lalabas. Okay, yung y-axis nyo is E, and then yung x-axis nyo is a function of UB, Bohr magneton times the external magnetic. Okay, so in other words, yung coefficient niya is just plus or minus 1. Now, ito yung unperturbed plus yung fine structure. Hindi na walang splitting yan, so yung isang point lang siya dito dun sa sa energy axis. Pero pag naglagay na kayo ng plus or minus 1/2, syempre, etong linya na to corresponds to yung MJ equals 1/2, and then itong linya na to corresponds to MJ equals negative 1. So nag-split ngayon yung anong tawag dito, yung energy. Okay, so yan yung ginagawa ng Zeeman effect. Even if it's weak, ni-split pa rin niya yung energy. Any questions? Okay. Ngayon, doon tayo pumunta sa strong field Zeeman effect. Which means na i-consider na natin dito ay yung case na kung saan yung external magnetic field is very much greater than the internal magnetic field. Now, since masyado nang malakas yung magnetic field, ang interaction niya ay diretso sa Z components ng L at saka ng S. Okay, so wala siya actually pakialam dun sa ibang components. So in this case, yung good quantum numbers are, syempre yung N, L, okay? Pero dahil nag-interact na siya with the tawag dito, orbital angular quantum number, spin angular quantum number, mas importante na ngayon yung ML at saka yung MS imbis na MJ. Okay, so in this case, yung Hamiltonian corresponding to the perturbation, okay, of the Zeeman effect will still have the same form. Okay, ganito pa rin yung form niya. Pero if i-consider natin yung three components, yung L, S, at saka ng B external, Z component lang. So, marireduce yung L, S, at saka yung B to their Z components. To the components wherein they are parallel to each other. So, yung Hamiltonian natin ngayon ay equal sa E over 2M, okay, external na magnetic field times yung Z component ng L plus 2 times yung Z component ng S. Okay. Now, this makes things actually a bit easier kasi if you take the expectation value of LZ, ang ibibigay niya sa atin ay MLH bar. Diba? If you take the expectation value of SZ, ang ibibigay niya sa atin is MSH bar. So we will get H bar again here. Okay, pag pinilitan natin ito ng ML at saka MS. Okay, tapos meron ka ulit Bohr magneton dyan. And then, tawag dito, it's actually easy to write yung, or to derive yung eigenvalue corresponding to the strong Zeeman. So this is negative 13.6 electron volts over N squared plus UB B external tapos ML plus 2MS. Okay? So actually, kailangan natin i-correct ngayon yung fine structure, okay, na eigenvalue. So before kasi ang ginawa natin ay yung Hamiltonian natin is just a single term. Ay hindi, dalawang terms, yung relativistic correction tsaka yung spin orbit coupling, di ba? Pinagsama natin yung dalawang terms na yun. Okay? So we ended up with yung eigenvalue na sinulat natin kanina. Okay, pero in this case, okay, what we'll end up with is, so syempre, isulat muna natin yung Hamiltonian. So N, L, M, S sub L, M sub S. And then yung relativistic correction plus yung spin orbit correction. And then N, L, M, L, M sub S. Okay, so yung relativistic correction, pareho lang yan as before, pero yung spin orbit interaction, kailangan natin yung S plus, S dot L. So 660, sandali ah. So yung HSO ay equals sa E squared over 8 pi epsilon naught 1 over m squared c squared r cubed s dot L. Okay, this is equation 6.60 na pinag-aralan natin before. Okay, and kailangan natin expectation value ng s dot L. Okay, and if we calculate the expectation value of s dot L, what we'll end up with is, syempre, S X LX, diba? Plus SY LY plus SZ LZ. And this gives us SX LX plus SY LY plus SZ LZ, or SX LX, kasi independent naman sila sa SX. Plus SZ and LZ. Now, these terms will give us 0. Alam niyo kung bakit? Hindi naman, kasi may SX kayo. Pag orthogonality, hindi expectation value yung kinukuha. So pag expectation value, di ba meron ka ng wave function? Okay? Bali yung bra notation yun, di ba? In Dirac notation, it's bra, and then SX, and then ket. Right? So yung bra and ket, yun yung basis states nyo. Ano bang basis states for spin angular momentum? Lumabas sila. Wala kayong takas. Sila pwede tumakas. Ano bang basis states para sa para sa spin angular momentum? In other words, ano yung pinagbabasayan natin na kets para sa spin angular momentum? Spin yan, di ba? So ano klaseng axis na Yes. Yes. Oh. Spin up siya, spin down lang. Di ba? So yun na yung tinitignan nyo. Pero yung spin up, ano yung expression for spin up? Matrix notation, ano yung spin up? Column matrix siya, di ba? Na 1, 0. Spin down, column matrix na 0, 1. Tapos yung SX, di ba pwede mo siyang express in terms of a matrix? Nalala nyo yung poly matrices? Di ba? So yung poly matrices ay sigma X, sigma Y, sigma Z. Pero pag pinilitan nyo yung by H bar over 2, then you get SX, SY, Z. Okay. So ang gagawin nyo ngayon, diba? Ay. Wait. Record pa rin. So anong gagawin nyo ngayon? Diba? Kung nalala ninyo, merong matrix for SX. Nalala ba ang matrix na SX? Hindi siya identity matrix. 0, 1, 1, 0. Okay? And then yung basis states nyo is spin up. Pero ito ay 1, 0. Then spin down. Ito ay 0, 1. Okay, so halimbawa, ang kinukuha nyo is expectation value ng SX. Anong ginagawa nyo dito? Ang ginagawa nyo is, halimbawa, spin up, SX, spin down, spin up din. Okay? Tapos, essentially, ang ginagawa nyo lang is 1, 0, and then yung 0, 1, 1, 0, and then 1, 0. Diba? And then, syempre, H bar. Okay. So, anong gagawin nito? Actually, itong result nito is 0, 1. Okay, and pag minultiply mo ngayon yung 1, 0 sa 0, 1, this will give us. Kaya ito ay 0. Kala nyo, hindi nyo nagagamitin yung mga pinag-aralan nyo before, ha? Wala kaya akong i-exempt sa finals. Okay. So, yung SZ tsaka LZ, magsusurvive yan. Sila lang yung magsusurvive. May mga nagsa-side comments dito sa ano ngayon yung SZ? Sorry. So, expectation value ng SZ ay equal sa M S H bar. And the expectation value ng LZ ay equal sa MZ L, sorry. ML. H bar. Okay. So, yung product nilang dalawa, which is just yung S dot L, okay, ay equal sa H bar squared MS times ML. Okay. So, saan natin ipapasok yan ngayon? So dito natin yan ipapasok sa fine structure. Okay, so dito. Okay. So ito, dito yan. And then meron ka pa ng relativistic correction. Okay? So pag ginawa niyo lahat ng mathematics na yan, ang lalabas EFS1 equals sa 13.6 electron volts over n squared alpha squared 3 over 4n minus L times L plus 1 minus M sub L, M sub S over L times L plus 1 half, tapos L plus 1. In this equation, 6.81, page 47. Okay. Hindi mo na ako gano'ng nag-derive ng mga steps. Yun na lang yung gagawin natin next movie. Kasi matatapos na natin essentially yung coverage. Pero skip ko muna yung mga steps, mathematical steps. Okay. So gusto ko lang muna mag-focus dun sa 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 physics. So yung total energy ay yung sum ng Zeeman, okay, sa equation 6.78. Okay, so ito yung equation 6.78. Okay, so page 247. Okay, so sige na nga, i-highlight natin konti. Okay, plus yung fine structure, which is this one. Okay, so yung total is equal to the, ano sabi natin, En M sub L M sub S plus E prime. So, kung natataka ko kung nasa yung Zeeman effect, nandito ah. Ito yung effect, yan yung Zeeman effect. Okay? Kasi nandiyan yung Bohr magneton. And then, kinorek lang natin yung fine structure. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, ito na yung intermediate na case. So, ang tawag natin dito ay intermediate Zeeman. Okay, so in this regime, okay, hindi nag-dominate or halos in the same order yung HZ at saka HFS, yung fine structure. Okay, kasi di sa kanila nag-dominate. Okay, so yung total na perturbation ngayon ay dahil dun sa both Zeeman effect at saka yung fine structure. So, now to do this, tawag dito, kailangan natin mag-define ng basis states. Okay. So, para maka-define tayo ng basis states, dapat mag-define, gawin natin ito for specific values of the principal quantum number. So, let's say n equals 2. So, for n equals 2, meron ka makukuha na L, J, at saka MJ. Okay? Tapos dito, wala tong tawag dito, walang good numbers. So, walang good quantum numbers. Okay, so, ano ngayon yung mga possible states? Pag n equals 2, ano mga possible na values ng L? Pag n equals 2, ano possible values ng L? 0 at saka 1. That's right. Okay, anong possible values ng ML? So ito, ano yung bibigay sa atin ito? ML at ito, now, yung J at saka MJ, or yung J, of course, yun lang yung total na angular momentum. At yung MJ, yun din yung total na magnetic quantum number. Okay, so, consider muna natin yung case na L equals 0. So, pag L equals 0, so tawagin natin na yung isang wave function psi1. This corresponds to the state, okay, where, so remember we're establishing yung basis states. So psi1 is equivalent to ket 1/2, 1/2. Then yung psi2 is equivalent to ket 1/2 negative. Okay. So this corresponds to J M sub J. We can also write this in terms of L, M sub L, at saka S, M sub S. So this can be written as ket L ML times ket S MS. Okay, so pag ganyan, pag psi1, pag J is equal to 1/2, so syempre yung value ng L dyan is 0. And yung ML is also 0. Pag yung value nitong J is 1/2, then 0 din yung L, and then 0 din yung L. What about yung S? So yung S has a value of 1/2 in both cases, and then it has an MS of 1/2 at saka negative. So itong basis state for L equals 0. Okay, and then we have yung L equals 1. So medyo marami yan. Psi 3, psi 4, psi 5, psi 6, psi 7, at saka psi. Okay, so psi 3, kung tayo mag-start sa 3 halves, 3 halves. Yung psi 4 is 3 halves, negative 3 halves. Okay, so dinedefine lang natin ito base dun sa mga sa MJ, sa value ng MJ. Then psi 5 is also 3 halves and then 1 half. And then psi 6 is y 1 half. Tapos 1 half. Then psi 7 is 3 halves, negative 1 half. And then psi 8 is 1 half, negative. So in terms of L, ML, tsaka ket L, ML, tsaka ket SMS, okay, anong lalabas dito? So we have 1, 1, 1 half, 1 half, equals sa, ito namang ket psi 4 is 1, negative 1. Okay. Kasi yung ML is plus or minus 1, and then 1 half, tapos negative. Okay, and then this is 2/3, 1, 0, 1 half, 1 half, plus square root ng 1/3, tapos 1, 1, 1 half, negative. Questions? Okay, so, wala kayong tanong? Sure kayo na clear lahat yan? Hindi nyo tatanong kung paano ko nakuha yung ano? Paano ko nakuha yan essentially? Pati yung square root of 2 over 3 tsaka square root of 1 over 3. Oh, yun yung probability, interpreted siya. Pero paano mo siya nakuha? Pinapya ko lang sa book. Okay. Hindi. Paano kukunin yung mga values na yan? So, ano sa susunod? Okay, susunod is, this will be negative square root ng 1 over 3. Tapos 1, 1, 0. Tapos 1 half, 1 half. Plus square root ng 2 over 3. 1, 1, 1 half, negative 1 half. Yan, paano nakuha yan? Yung mga nasa Zoom, gising pa ba kayo? Paano nakuha yan? Meron nga pala silang ano dito, KFC meals. Baka biglang dumating yung mga yun. Sarap ba yung chicken? Sorry, yung iba spicy ah. Oh, paano nakuha yung mga yan? Ha? Sige. Ano? Ano tawag doon sa table na yun? Klebsch, Gordon, coefficients. Kala nyo, tapos na kayo dun ha? Hindi pa kayo tapos dun. So this is 1 minus 1. Tapos 1 half, 1 half. Plus square root of 2/3. And then 1, 0. Tapos 1 half negative. So ito naman is negative 2/3, 1, negative 1, 1/2, 1/2, plus square root of 1/3, 1, 0, and then 1/2, negative. Okay, so using yung Clebsch-Gordon coefficients, nakuha yung mga basis case gets na yun. Okay? Nagsimula pa lang tayo kasi establish pa lang natin yung basis gets. Bakit natin kailangan ito? Kasi i-apply natin yan dun sa Hamiltonian. Remember, to get yung eigenvalues, di ba may expression tayo? Diba? Kailangan natin yung basis gets. Okay, at i-apply natin yan dun sa Hamiltonian. Okay, so ito ngayon yung basis gets natin. Eh, meron tayong 8 basis gets. Tama? Anong mabubuo natin dyan sa mga, ano na yan, sa ganitong klaseng expression, sa expression na ito? Yan, sa expression na yan. Ano ang mabubuo natin dyan? Okay, so ano pa rin to? Perturbation theory pa rin to. Anong klaseng expression ba ito? Yan. Anong magbibigay niyan sa inyo? Eigenvalues. Definitely eigenvalues. Pero, anong tawag dito? In the form of what? Pag nakita kayo ng ganyan, okay, bra, and then Hamiltonian, and then ket, ano ang pwede niyong mabuo dyan? Ha? Energy nga. Tama ka dyan. Yes, probability. Hindi, mathematical actually yung tanong ko. Kasi yan ay mathematical expression. So, ano ba yan? Anong ibibigay niyan sa inyo? Kasi these two itong basis states na yan, don't have to be the same. For example, psi1, ito ang psi2. Diba? O, di meron ka ng isang energy eigenvalue corresponding to E1, E2. Pwede kong palitan ito ng 3. O, di meron ka ng energy eigenvalue corresponding to E1, 3. Right? Pwede kong palitan ito ng 4. Meron ka ng E1, 4. And so on and so forth. Hindi summation. Pero malapit ka na. Ha? Yes. Gano'ng kalaki ang matrix na yan? Ilang basis kets nyo? 8. Gano'ng kalaki ang matrix na yan? 8 by 8. Kasi meron kang 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, di ba? Hanggang 1, 8. Tapos, bababa naman. So, meron kang 8 by 8 na matrix. Diba? Patapos na nga yung 182, bibigyan pa kayo ng ganitong surprise. 8 by 8 na matrix. Grabe. So, anong elements ng 8 by 8 na matrix na yun? So, ang tanong ko actually is, anong nire-represent nito? So, elements yan of a matrix W. Okay, at yung W, nandoon yung makikita yung eigenvalues. Okay. Now, if it turns out na hindi diagonal yung matrix na yan, okay, ita-diagonalize nyo pa siya. Itsura ni Christian. Nung sinabi kong ita-diagonalize yung 8 by 8 na matrix, nalungkot siya. Ano na? LE2, exactly. Tapos, ito, yung LE2 nga, 3 by 3 lang yun eh. Ito, 8 by 8. No? Pero okay lang yan. Okay lang yan. So, siguro yung mga nandun naka-zoom, makikita, may book silang kaharap. Okay, pero ako lang may book na kaharap. So, actually, diagonal naman siya to some extent, okay, which is good. So, 5 gamma minus beta. Okay, and then 5 gamma plus beta. Gamma minus 2 beta. gamma plus 2 beta. So yung first 4 okay, na elements along the diagonal ay tawag dito fully diagonal. Okay, so wala siyang coefficients, wala siyang sa katabi niya, so off diagonal elements puro 0. Yun lang dun sa mga kasunod, yun yung problematic kasi gamma minus 2/3 beta, tapos dito square root of 2/3 beta, tapos dito naman ay square root of 2/3 beta, tapos 5 gamma minus 1/3 beta, tapos dalawa na lang, gamma plus 2/3 beta, and then gamma or 5 gamma plus 1/3 beta, square root of 2/3 beta, square root of 2/3 beta. So yan yung 8 by 8 nyo. The rest ay 0 na. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 7 lang. Hindi ito, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oo nga, no? 7. Kasi ito, kalimutan ko ito. 1, 2. Tapos ito, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yan, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, yan. 8 by 8. Okay? Okay. So, yung first 4, diagonalized na. Ibig sabihin, yan na rin yung eigenvalues ng first 4, yun yung na nagko-correspond dun sa first 4 na basis states. Okay? Yung second, yung 6 and 7, at saka yung, yung 5th and 6th, at saka yung 6th and 7th, anong tawag dito? Merong maliit na square matrix. Ayan, may maliit na square matrix siya. Pwede niyo i-treat separately. Kasi essentially nasa diagonal naman sila eh. Di ba? Tapos wala ka ng 0 naman ito, 0 yan, 0 yan, 0 yan. So pag minultiply mo to, di ba? Ito 3 by 3. Ito i-multiply mo lang naman dito, di ba? So actually pwede niyo mathematically pwede niyo i-treat yan separately. So ito nakuha niyo na yung first 4 eigenvalues. Para makuha yung next na eigenvalues, kunin niyo lang yung eigenvalue ng square matrix na yan. And then ito, kunin nyo rin yung eigenvalue ng square matrix. So then you get 8 eigenvalues. So mathematically, this is not that challenging. Okay? Okay? Now, hindi pa natin pinag-usapan kung ano yung gamma at saka beta. Okay? Yung gamma is 6/8, hindi 6. Alpha over 8 squared times 13.6 electron volts. And yung beta ay equal sa mu sub B external. Okay. And then, kung paano nakuha yung mga yan, yun din yung hindi pa natin dinidiscuss. Okay? So yun yung i-discuss natin next time. Okay, so anuhin natin yung mathematics niyan. Okay? Para lang maintindihan nyo kung paano nakuha yan. And then, pag-aralan natin yung hyperfine splitting. Okay, it's just a couple of pages dun sa book. Literally 3 pages dun sa book. So, mabilis na natin i-breeze through ito. Yung mathematics is not that difficult. Okay? Actually, itong intermediate Zeeman effect yung medyo complicated yung math. Kita nyo naman. Okay, and then, mag-solve na tayo ng sum ng ibang exercises. Okay? Okay? Questions? Wala. So, sa Friday, yung ating last na face-to-face meeting. Remember, wala ako next week dahil meron akong attend na workshop.